Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Weekly Cricket Dose. This is Himanshu and we are going to talk about yesterday's match between Mumbai and Kolkata. This is a new setup I'm trying out because it felt like more of an formal interview while I was sitting on a desk and a chair. So I thought let's try and spice it up, try and keep it informal and have some fun. Let's chill out and in the same time we're going to talk about cricket, everything you need to know. So tomorrow's match, it was Kolkata's match all the way. Out of 40 overs, entire 40 overs of the match, I think they had the match for good part of 32 overs. Kolkata were in command of the match and then they let it go. Somehow they let it go. I don't know how many of you are Avengers or Marvels fan. I am clearly, you can see by the t-shirt. In the second Avengers movie, Age of the Ultron, there was a witch named Wanda and she messed with the heads of the Avengers. I think the same thing happened with the batsman of KKR and the witch being Bumrah. Even Lakshma Ram Krishnan on the commentary on air also said that they were trying to target the other bowlers because of the Bumrah factor. I think it was back of their mind that it will be very hard to face Bumrah in the death overs, so they were trying to milk other bowlers around. Anyways, I'm getting too ahead. Let's start from the beginning. KKR won the toss and they elected to bowl first. Obviously, given the pitch, we all know Chennai, if you win the toss, you bowl first of all. They started brilliantly. Ian Morgan, the new captain of KKR, he had a very good strategy. For the first time in the Vivo IPL, we have seen 5 spin bowlers starting the power play over, and straight away 5 overs were of spin bowlers, and it gave them good rewards. KKR, they got rid of Quinton de Kock, who just got out of bubble quarantine for COVID, and he also said in the pre-match interview that it is hard to sometimes to get adjusted to bubble. So anyways, he was back onto the field in place of Chris Lynn, and it was expected that he might give a good start for Mumbai Indians. He couldn't. He fell off very cheaply to Varun Chakravarti in the very second over of the innings. The innings started. Suryakumar Yadav, again, as I've been telling in the last few videos, he is in a form of his life. Everything he's touching is turning to gold. The shots were immaculate. The precision, the timing, the finding of the gaps, everything was so in sync. I was in awe looking in that inning. He looked like he was batting on a completely different surface. Whereas Rohit Sharma, we don't see quite often that Rohit Sharma struggles to find his form, but that was the case yesterday. That bad was the pitch. It was turning. It was the ball was also not coming onto the bat quickly. It was stopping as well, and thus Rohit Sharma could only muster a strike rate of around 130, 140, and he also went out at a crucial moment. He got out for 42 when Mumbai needed him to start firing, to start opening up. So Suryakumar Yadav got himself a 50, well compiled 50, and it looked that as if again he came in for the rescue for Mumbai Indians, and he gonna take away the inning, and KKR might be chasing somewhere around 180 or 170. But it wasn't the case to be. He was dismissed. He caught off trying to go for a 6. Ishan Kishan also couldn't do much. He got out cheaply again. Then came in Hardik Pandya. Neither of them, the Pandya brothers and Pollard, couldn't do much. They fell cheaply, and Rohit Sharma also fell. Again, Mumbai Indians were struggling in the death period. This time around, they lost 7 wickets for 31 runs in the death overs, last 5 overs. The Mumbai Indians was bowled out for the first time since 2018. The last time they were bowled out was in 2018 Vivo IPL. Also, another interesting fact, it took 204 matches for one bowler to take 5 firsts against Mumbai Indians. That was Harshal Patel, the last game between RCB and Mumbai. And it took just one more match. In 205th match, again a bowler took 5 wickets, Andre Russell. He came on to ball on the 18th over. He bowled only 12 balls and got himself 5 wickets. That is some mind-blowing stuff. Andre Russell bagged 5 wickets. Mumbai Indians got bowled out, and thus eventually KKR only needed 152 runs to win. They might have even got less targets had it not been for Krunal Pandya's 3 boundaries in the end of the inning. He played a little cameo, 15 runs of 9 balls. Very good innings. That was in context of the match. How it happened in the hindsight, I think that was the difference. The wicket was getting slower. It was getting really hard for batsmen to find their rhythm, and we all knew it will be very difficult for a new batsman to get in, to settle down and start making runs and start hitting those boundaries and sixes. As it happened, KKR got a very good start by Nitish Rana and Shubman Gill, both batted beautifully. And Rahul Chahar wasn't. Everybody was thinking that even Mumbai Indians will start from spin because it was spinning a lot. But to everybody's surprise, they didn't. They thought that ball might swing a lot because it often swings when it spins. So they tried Bolt, Bumrah, everybody, Jensen, of course, but they couldn't get a success. Now they brought in Rahul Chahar, and less than 100, or I think around 101 runs, something like that was required at that time. Shubman Gill hit 1 6 of Rahul Chahar, I'm sorry, and again tried to be greedy and again went for a big shot, paid the price, got out eventually. Then came in Rahul Tripathi. We all know he's a very explosive batsman. He likes to keep himself busy, likes to tuck around the corner, keep the scoreboard rotating, and also hit the occasional boundaries. But today, Rahul Chahar yesterday was bowling absolutely magnificently. He was reading the pitch. He read the pitch very good. He knew what length he had to bowl, what pace he had to bowl on. He was getting a lot of grip, lot of spin as well, and he got off Rahul Tripathi as well. Then came in the turning point. Nitish Rana till that point was batting very beautifully. He was batting flawlessly. He was taking single-handedly KKR towards the victory, and it looked like certain. It looked like KKR is going to win by 18th over or 19th over at max. But out of nowhere, with no reason at all, Nitish Rana charged down the pitch of the last ball of the Rahul Chahar's 4th over, last ball of his spell. He decided that he's gonna run down, take him on, and he couldn't connect the ball, and he was stumped out. Easy stumping chance. Again, I'm telling you, Marvel, that something messed with their head, with the KKR batsman's head. Something got into their head, and they were bamboozled. They couldn't even defend properly, and they tried to slog their way out, which we know on Chennai pitch you cannot do that. You gotta allow yourself to settle in and then make some play your shots. But no batsman tried to do that. Ian Morgan, Shakibul Hasan, everybody fell cheaply, and there was a panic. Still, at the last 5 overs, 30 balls, 31 runs were needed. Had KKR applied common sense, they would have won the match easily. But again, they tried to go after spinners, Krunal Pandya. They tried to take him on. At one point in a T20 match, imagine this, there was a silly point and first slip around the batsman in the 17th over of a 2020 match. Can you imagine that? And Andre Russell was so nervous, he just tried to nudge it down the ground for a single, popped up in the air. Was it almost not that hard of a catch? And Krunal Pandya spilled that catch. One would have thought that this is the end. Now that you have dropped Russell, you're not going to win the match. But again, we know what happened. KKR messed it up big time. Dinesh Karthik and Andre Russell were at the crease. Again, the 16th over, Bumrah ball, very beautiful over. Didn't give up a lot of one no ball, and Andre Russell scored the boundary. We again thought, now this is the pressure release shot. Now the pressure is off them. Now they're gonna win it comfortably. No, that wasn't the case. 17th over, the third last over, Krunal Pandya came in, gave away only 3 runs. 3 runs of Krunal Pandya. We know that he's not big spinner of the ball. What he does with his delivery, he is a very smart player. If you see his bowling from side on. You can see he's bowling the ball at least a yard behind the popping crease. So the ball is arriving at least a second later than what the batsmen are expecting. As we saw in the case of Shakib Hassan, he fell down on the deep leg, square leg. In the third last over, 3 runs were given. Now the pressure was on Kolkata. They knew they had to face out a over of Bumrah, and then whoever balls the last over, Bolt or Jensen, will get probably around 10 to 12 runs easily. Bumrah balled a beautiful over to give away 4 runs in a death over where batsmen are trying to get after you. I know it is a hard pitch to get in straight away and start hitting sixes, but anyways, batsmen are gonna swing. You might get an outside edge, inside edge, and it might run away to the boundary. But Bumrah gave away only 4 runs. Last 2 balls, dots to Dinesh Karthik. We know he's a good finisher. He has shown in the past. Remember Nidahas Trophy, 29 runs of 8 balls. We know what he's capable of, but he was no match for Bumrah's class. He beat him all around, and eventually for the final over, 15 runs were required. 15 runs on the final overs. There was a debate who should ball the last over. Should it be Bolt or Jensen? Rohit Sharma chose to go with experience and chose Bolt. And he bowled immaculately. He bowled precise Yorkers. He knew what he wants to bowl, set the field accordingly, even bluffed Andre Russell on the third ball of the over. It looked like he's gonna ball either a slow ball or a bouncer. As per the field set, he had 3 men in the deep for that pull shot, but he bluffed the batsman, balled a Yorker on the left stump, simple leading edge caught by Bolt, and thus the innings was completed, and KKR had lost the match. It was mathematically they could have won, but it was I think 11 of 3, and nobody can do that on that sort of pitch. It's very hard. Pat Cummins came in, tried to slog one. It was a good ball right in the block hole, got his wicket. Harbhajan Singh tried to slog for 2 balls, he couldn't, and eventually KKR lost by 10 runs. Imagine from requiring 30 runs of 31 balls, 31 runs of 30 balls, and then losing the match by 10 runs. That should hurt them. Ian Morgan in his post-match interview also said that it should hurt. It is hurting. It is disappointing to lose this match. They had that match in their pocket, but they couldn't win. And kudos to Rohit Sharma's captaincy. It is quite astonishing to see what he does with his bowler. Do you know an interesting fact as well? The last time Rohit Sharma bowled in an IPL match, India's Prime Minister was still Manmohan Singh. Let that sink in. Yes, he last ball on 7th of May 2014. Manmohan Singh was still the Prime Minister of India, and Narendra Modi was yet to become. So imagine that far. He almost twisted his ankle and got himself in trouble, but it was good to see him complete the over on the very first ball that happened. It was good to see that nothing happened to him. He's a very good player. It is good for IPL to have him. It increases the value of IPL for Rohit Sharma being there. His captaincy is also one of the prettiest sight in the cricketing world. He uses his bowler, his resources so very well. It is out of the world. That's it, guys. That's my analysis of the last match. Today is gonna be match between Hyderabad and Bangalore, kind of a South Indian derby, but it's gonna be on neutral turf. As we all know, every match is gonna be in a neutral stadium. The match for this stadium, the stadium for this match, is gonna be Chennai, and we saw what happened in the last games. We know it's not gonna be like one high scoring matches. It's gonna spin, and when it comes to spin, SRH has better bowlers. I believe so. They have Rashid Khan, they have Mohammad Nabi, they can bring in other spinners as well, and even their pacers. They were not good in the first match, but I expect them to make a comeback. Natarajan, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and even Sandeep Sharma, they all know they can assess the situation very good, and they all have very good slow balls, off cutter, leg cutters, knuckles ball. You name them, they have all their dot in their arsenal, and I'm hoping to see all those good bowlers coming back to the party. And maybe I think in this match, Sunrisers might even surprise RCB and take this match home. But it's gonna be a cracking contest because you can never count out Virat Kohli's team. They can beat any team given any day, and their problem last season was death bowling. They seems to have sorted that out. With we saw what happened in the first match, and thus I think it's gonna be a good match, but SRH might just win it. Yesterday's prediction, my prediction was that MI will win the match, but KKR might just surprise them. They almost did, but eventually they lost the match, and they have only themselves to blame on. And also for RCB, Devdutt Padikkal, I think he's out of quarantine, and I think he's gonna join the team, so that is gonna boost their top order batting. And I'm hoping for a cracker of match. Yesterday was a very, very good match. Although at one point it looked like KKR is gonna win it easily, but it came down to a nail biter. And what a finish we are having! What a season we are already having for the Vivo IPL 2021. The first week is not yet over, and we had 3 close games. That is that speaks volume about the competition, the gold standard which IPL sets, and it is once again doing so what it has been doing for the past 13 years. Anyways, guys, you do make sure to like this video if you like the video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and also that notification button, so that you can join me here and talk about the match yesterday. Also in the comment section, let me know what were your thoughts. Where do you think KKR went wrong? And I'll see you here next time tomorrow with the analysis of RCB versus Hyderabad. This is Himanshu signing off.